The following episode contains material that may be disturbing or triggering for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Robot Ducking Podcast, everyone. I am your host, Charles.
And I'm your co-host, Mike.
And I'm James, your Dogecoin fund manager.
All right, thank you, James. Are we rich yet?
We're doing terribly.
Just for the reference, a Dogecoin is one of those cryptocurrency, but of course, James is managing all of that for us, so we can be rich one day. I'm looking forward to it.
I also have a present for. All right, well, it's not a present, but you've seen it before. I just thought it'd be funny to bring it to you on.
Oh, there we go!
The rubber duck.
I feel like it's the most fitting rubber duck.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is,
New
yeah.
York.
New York.
Thank you, James. Yeah, so welcome back, listeners. So James is actually in the flesh with us today. He's been visiting town, and we've been actually looking really forward to this episode where James will be with us in person to film this podcast, so that we don't have to really, worry about those 40-minute time cutouts and
Yeah.
whatnot.
First of many. Also, way less delay. From
That's
you
right.
talking.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot better sound qualities as well. Okay, so going back to my story. So last episode, I've left at where I am now ready to travel to South Korea. So my kunoma, right? So my dad's first wife and I, went to the bus stop and we're waiting for this broker to show up. And this guy indeed shows up, and he wrote taxi, and he put us in a taxi cab, and he drove to, I think it's their safe house, and we stayed there for a decent 6 hours. The reason is because me and my dad's first wife, I'll just call her my aunt.
Mhm.
Yeah. My aunt wasn't the only people who are escaping China at that time. So the broker actually found another North Korean dude, and it's a safe house, and he also brought this North Korean dude to us as well. So we got off the taxi, we went to the safe house, and we waited there for a few hours, and then this guy comes in as well, this North Korean dude. I bring that up because three of us actually made journey to Southeast Asia, and of course,
Is he
He-
also young? He's another.
he's like, I think at the time I was 17, but he was in his 20s. I don't know why, but this guy was really mean.
Oh.
Yeah, he was really mean. So I guess he was in the prison right before he actually came to China, and he has some kind of like a drug problem as well. But he was coming to South Korea. But yeah, he was really mean. Three of us are North Korean defectors, right? And also, we have to take it in account that we don't know each other, and we don't really know if this person is a spy,
Yeah.
or it's all those kind of considerations, right? And we're escaping the regime, and we never know who's the spy and whatnot.
This sounds like a scary dude to be around when you don't know if you can trust
That's the
him.
thing too. He was very small. He was a very small dude. No. Yeah, he said he was 25, but he had the same physique as I did. So it was kind of it looks like my peer, but he was with a mustache, and kind of a very skinny and with the wrinkles. And his eyes were very different too. I mean,
So not super scary, but just mean.
just mean. Yeah, not scary at all. Just mean. I don't like this dude kind of vibe. Anyway, so we stayed in that safe house for a few more hours, and then we left to catch a big bus. So how it works is that broker, each of the stages, new broker comes in. because the one broker does not take you from China all the way to the Southeast Asia. The reason being is that if you get captured, right, and if you were to tell who is your broker, then that person is going to be in trouble. So we don't know who our broker is yet,
Interesting.
right? So this guy takes us to the bus station, right? And then, okay, get on that bus. And he dipped. And on that bus, there is a broker whom we don't know, but they know who we are. Yeah.
It's like a spy movie.
Yeah,
Right?
it is.
I don't know who my broker is, but my broker knows, who we are. So we got on the seat and we just sat like wherever we wanted to. And then we, the bus, it moves. And it was an excitement because like I tried my best to avoid like being in this public group because like I don't like seeing other people in China because like if they talk to me like I can't speak Chinese, and if I can't speak Chinese they're gonna get suspicious, and if they do they're going to be sending me, or they're going to be reporting me to the authorities. So I did not like being amongst people. But this time it's different. It's like I'm on a bus and we're all going somewhere. And how it works is that so the broker actually has a fake passport for us.
Whoa.
Right? And then he actually has a fake passport and he gave it to the driver, the bus driver. And then the driver actually has this passport, right? And whenever the checkpoint comes, right? And this military guy comes into the bus and he asks the driver to collect everyone's passport, right? Everyone on the board. And then the driver, 3 of us, right? So he has 3 fake IDs for us, passport. And he collects rest of them, mix them together, goes down to the police officer. Police officer counts the passport, comes back up to the car, and then he counts the head.
So the driver's in on it too.
Yeah, the driver is in on it too. And then the driver is in on it too. Driver, broker, they all get a cut.
And this is a bus going to like the ferry to get to, how does this get to
No,
South Korea?
so we were moving from Hunchun, right? It's the northern part of China, and we needed to get to Southeast Asia. So we needed to go to Kunming. So from the north side of the China to Kunming, and yeah, it was like a week long, like a bus ride. It was week long travel from one end of China to the other end of China. And let me tell you, every time the bus stops, like my heart is like pounding in my throat, because every time it stops, like what if I get caught here? If I do get caught here, this is it for me. Right, especially for me, like I've seen what happens to you if you get caught trying to escape to South Korea. So I'm like really scared, and every time bus leaves, I'm like, yes, thank you, and every time bus stops, I'm like, oh, what are we doing? It's like my face turns all red, just like the adrenaline, right?
And it's a super long bus ride. This is like,
Oh yeah, it's not just like quick, like a 7-hour ride. It's more of 7 days of ride.
Oh, on the same bus?
Not on the same bus,
Oh,
but we
okay.
we switch, right? So now,
I see.
so now we got to Kunming, right? And then we got off the bus, and I don't know, like where are we? Like who do we look for? Like what's going on? And we're just like all wondering like what's gonna happen. And then this guy comes from like behind us and tap us in the shoulder.
Wow.
Follow me. And then he takes us to the safe house.
is that the
right?
broker or it's another?
That's the broker. Yeah, that's another broker. So we don't have one broker. So every time the bus changes, the broker changes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And-
Every
but
time
That person could easily be the spy from North Korea, right?
Could
Pretending to
be.
be one? Oh, that's
pretending to,
scary.
but I mean, there's like so many people in China, right?
Right.
And especially like 3 of us, it's like, oh, well, they wouldn't suspect us unless they talk to us. Right? It's like, oh, no speaking English.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this guy brought us to the safe house again, and then in the safe house, like we reloaded, we took a little nap, And then this guy took us another bus station, and you had to get on that bus, and then we went to another bus station. So it's like, yeah. So we took a bus to another city, from that city to another city, another city, another city, and then at one point we got lost. So we got off from the bus, and I think there was like a massive search. And this guy, the one guy that I was talking about, he freaked out. And then he encouraged us like, okay, let's run, because there seems like some kind of search going on. And because the bus stopped, right? And we got off. And then like, yeah, the bus stopped, we got off. And then there is some sort of like a search in the bus. And it's like, yeah, we got to get out of here. So we just took off and just running. We don't know where we are. Or it's like well, I mean, it's like a city, right? But we don't know what city. We don't speak the same language.
Right.
We just took off running. And we're just trying to avoid people, right? Because like we don't speak Chinese, and if somebody's, and it was night too, it was pitch dark. Yeah, and it was really scary, because like we got lost there in the middle of nowhere now, and it's like we're pretty deep in China, and if somebody were to find us and report us to authorities, like we're gonna be toast, And then eventually, like after hours of like wandering around, like trying to avoid people, like trying to find a way out, I actually approached like a house, because like, yeah, we need to find some sort of solution. We can't just do this like all night until the sun rises, because we're just walking around aimlessly at this point. So I approached the house, I knocked on it, and I told them, like in broken Chinese, can I use your cell phone? Soji, well, that was the word. That's the only word that I remember now. But Soji was the only word that I remember. But this guy didn't understand me. This guy didn't understand what I was saying, because he was speaking Cantonese and I was speaking Mandarin. And he was like, what? What? And then I showed him the hand motion.
I see.
Right. And then it's like, oh. And then I give the cell phone to the other guy, and now he dials his family in South Korea.
Wow.
And then the South Korea contacts the broker and gives him the whereabouts of where we are. Yeah. And then like when the sun was almost like rising up, taxi cab like just come to us and picks us up, and then drives us to the next safe house.
So it was the mean guy who contacted.
Yeah, it was the mean
So
guy.
he helped you out.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like he saved our life, because like I didn't know any phone numbers, like I didn't know I didn't have any contact with any brokers, so as my aunt, but this guy actually was able to find his family in South Korea. He was able to contact his family in South Korea and save us. Yeah, and then we got to the bus, and yeah, we rode the bus pretty long again. And then we were towards the end of China now, and then we found someone who was speaking Korean, South Korean. So now we really met this person who was speaking, oh yeah, so I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen, so you're gonna go to Laos, and then from Laos you're gonna go to Thailand, and within the Laos, like, you're gonna meet. So we basically rode bus like day and night often. So
Wow.
day and night to get to like the end of China.
So this is basically Kunming, which is like the southwest corner, and you did a bunch of trips.
Yeah, a bunch of trips to like closer to Laos.
Yeah,
Um,
Laos.
Yeah. And then we met this guy, and he was a broker, and he made me actually sign something that said, well, I'll pay 150,000 South Korean won when I get to South Korea, because I was not in the plan. So here, it's quite funny, because I guess I was not planned to be born, and I came to America without being planned, right? So it's kind of it's really funny, like rubber
Yeah.
ducks.
It should be the title of your book, Something about.
unplanned. Yeah, and then this guy was like, yeah, so you have to pay 150,000 South Korean won, which is equivalent to like 1,400 bucks or 1,300 bucks at the time.
Oh, that must have been like
2012.
1.5 million then. Yeah, South Korean one.
I think it's 1,000, right? to
Yeah,
know.
1,000. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 150,000.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, oh, 140 bucks, easy money. But no, it's a $1,400 ish.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So 1,400 US dollars. That equals 1.4 million won.
Something like that. Yeah.
140만 원?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. But I didn't pay. I couldn't pay.
Oh.
Plot twist, because I didn't have any money.
Did you say you did?
No, I mean, no, because like he knew that I was not planned, right? I was not planned. And I was like, who is this guy? Like, we didn't get paid for this guy. Like, who are you? And then, oh, you want to go to South Korea? Then you have to pay us. I was like, I don't have money. I was like, oh yeah, pay us back when you get to South Korea. But I'm not in South Korea. I'm in America. Okay, and then this guy introduces us to another broker who drove us all the way to Laos, right? So within Laos, we had to do this kind of like 3 to 4 hour hike at night without any lights, because if you have lights, they can see, like the border guards would see like the moving lights. It was fun. I mean, like I'm pretty athletic, you know. I love hiking, but I don't ever feel like I have to do another hiking in my life, because you know, in North Korea, like everywhere you go is just walking and hiking, you know, and escaping North Korea, you know, was a hike, you know, and coming to, you know, escaping China was also a hike, you know. So it's just like I've done a hike, you know, for the rest of my life, but. So we crossed the river, and then so right before we escaped, this is what this guy tells me, right? So as soon as you get to Thailand, make sure you surrender to the Thai police. Like, first thing that you're gonna do as soon as you cross the river, the first thing that you're gonna do is go ahead and turn yourselves in, and they're going to take you to like 10-day prison, and then they're going to take you to the international refugee camp, and from there you will be able to go to South Korea. So it's like, okay, very nice. And this guy introduced us to another broker, and then the broker took us to the China border, and then we walked. So we left around like closer to like 6 p.m. I believe. And then I think we arrived in the Laos side like midnight, like closer to midnight. And then we went to the Laos safe house. And then from Laos safe house, like at the same night, we rode motorcycles, right? We rode motorcycle across like the Laos, and then we went to the Mekong River. And then within the Mekong River, we find this guy, a broker, with a boat, right? But no joke, it's a freaking small log, right? Cut in half, and they dig the middle, and then attach like a model behind it. Like as soon as I got on, if I move in a certain way, it was gonna flip.
Wow.
And it fits how many people?
Like 4 total, like because like three of us plus the driver.
Fully standing?
We're sitting.
Huh.
Single file.
Yeah, single file.
Wow.
Yeah, single file. It was scary. It was really scary. And I've also heard that there's like crocodiles in Mekong River. If it flips, we're gonna be, you know, crocodile's dinner. You know, it's like, ooh, what a treat. So we're just like, because like they were like, yeah, don't move. If you move, you're flipped over. And we rode that for 7 to 10 minutes, but it was the longest like 7 to 10 minutes in my life.
Wow.
And then we come to Thailand side, and when we came to Thailand, I don't know, there's something about it was so different. Like it felt like this country has money. You know, it's like it's like same as like China. It was lighting up. You know, Laos. It was like the housings were pretty like rough. You know,
Was that like North Korean?
yeah, it
vibes?
was no even worse than North Korea. First,
Really?
yeah, the town that I was in, it was worse than North Korea. It's
Mm.
like I think it recently rained. You know, it's like really muddy. You know,
Mm.
and the house was like all like it's like a made with like a cinder blocks, you know, and some of it like doors missing, you know. I mean some North Korean houses like they at least have doors, you know.
So at this point, had you heard anything about Thailand or
Laos, nope.
So
I've
like there was
never-
a chance. You're like, oh, this might just be another North Korea. Like,
Oh no, I mean I probably no I didn't I didn't think that it was North Korea, but I knew it wasn't China because like I've been to China cities and also like the broker told us, yeah, you're gonna be going to Laos.
you weren't concerned it would have been just as bad as North Korea. Like,
Oh, I wasn't staying in
Got it,
Laos,
got
right?
it.
I'm just like crossing over, and he told us that just stay low, like lay low, because in Laos you could still get captured and sent back to North Korea because Laos has a relationship with North Korea. So he was telling us that yeah, just lay low, don't go anywhere, just follow your broker, and that's all you need to do until you get to Thailand. So yeah,
I see.
I was really obedient, and we're all obedient because we don't want to get caught.
So for crossing Laos, you're not even going through any border checkpoints or like officially entering the country or anything like that. You're literally laying low under the radar,
Right. So
not even being seen by any one Laosian person.
Right.
Yeah.
So the mountain that we crossed, right?
Uh-huh.
So that was like the Chinese border and then Laos border. So we're illegally
Mm-hmm.
migrating from China to Laos, right? And then we're crossing Laos on a motorcycle to the Mekong River. Dirt bike, actually. It's like it wasn't like a really a cool motorcycle. It was literally a dirt bike. Yeah, and then we got to the Mekong River, crossed the river, came to Thailand. It was nice. I could see like the banana trees. I was like, oh, tiny bananas.
that was the first food you wanted to try when you entered China.
Right. When I was in China, that's the first thing that I was like, why is it so small? And then yeah, so we walked like we didn't know where we were going, but we just like kept walking. We just kept walking until we found like some sort of like a sign, and then we walked up to the police station, and then we knocked on the door, and it was in the morning. It was like a early morning, so it's like a 5 a.m. And then this police officer gets out, and then he sees us, and then he brings out blankets for us.
Oh.
Yeah, and then he brings us blankets, and then I'll just wait here. You know, it's like some like a Thai language, like he's speaking Thai to us. It's like I think he was speaking English actually. I think he was saying like wait, like wait.
But you didn't know English. That's
I didn't know English. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, he was telling us to wait, and then he makes a couple of phone calls, and then it's like, yeah, wait here, and then he brings us water, some food, you know, and then from that point on, like life was just like skyrocketed, right? It's like I'm just like, okay, I can relax now. Like I don't need to lay low because Thai government's gonna take care of us. Yeah,
Wow.
That's good.
You made it.
I know. Yeah, it's
Bananas everywhere.
bananas everywhere, dry bananas, you know, like deep fried bananas, you know, and like dry bananas, because you know that the Thai actually has like this the banana, like a dry bananas and deep fried bananas. And have you ever had it before?
No. Have you?
There's
It's
some desserts,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
it's maybe it's a dessert. But it's pretty delicious.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like a once, you know, for the first time in my life, it's like you can relax now because like I've been always afraid of like the law enforcement, right? Because like North Korean regime, it's like law enforcement, I didn't have a good experience with them. Chinese government, I did not have good experience, but Thai government, it's like they're like angels, like when I looked
Yeah.
at them, they're just like angels, like being nice, smiles all the time, and just like
Aw.
giving us water, food, it's like chatty, and then in that police station, he put us on the. Oh, but one thing that I remember, it was freaking hot because we left China on December. It was freaking cold.
Huh.
When I came to Thailand, I had to like change clothes to like shorts and like short pants. And I think that was like the very first like culture shock of like, how is this possible?
Mm.
Right? It's winter, and how is it possible that it's still warm?
Mm-mm.
Like I'm what is this? Is this some kind of like a black magic or something?
Right, because you've never experienced that.
No, in December it's gonna be freezing.
Right.
Even in China too. Like December is pretty cold. Everything freezes. I'm like, what is this? And then like we were riding in a car that had AC in it. It was pretty. It was like a pickup truck. So it was in a pickup truck, and then it couldn't because there was only 3 of us. So in a pickup truck, he took us to the jail. So here's the thing. So Thai government does not recognize North Korea and South Korea as 2 different countries.
Mm-hmm.
They just think of it as one country.
Mm.
And when a Korean citizen illegally comes to Thailand without permissions, what they do is they would just, they would deport them back, right? But you still have to
Good.
go through the customs of like, right? It's like you still have to go to
Like a
jail.
process,
Yeah,
yeah.
you still have to go to jail, and like, yeah, you have to serve time because you came here illegally.
Mm.
But we will send you back to Korea.
I see.
So that's how we were. So we are in the process of going to this
It's almost for show. It's just like
Right. I mean, it's like, we'll deport
Right,
you, but
yeah.
we'll kind of offset it by 50 miles south.
10 miles south, maybe
Yeah,
I go
maybe.
1 mile, maybe. And then I was like, great, and of course there was like a people with like, Korean speaking, like, people there, like
Mm,
translators, like saying like, yeah, so once you, go to South Korea, you cannot come back to Thailand for 5 years because of there's like, this kind of law that prevents you from doing that. Like, I don't need to, I don't need to come to Thailand. So that day, we came to Thai prison. And then, yeah, so we came to Thai prison and we got like clothes, Thai prison clothes, and it was so interesting, like how the Thai prison food was like literally rice and meat and soup. Like white rice, like chapsal, right? This like it's the stickiest kind, and that kind of rice is like the most expensive rice in North Korea because it's like an extra sticky rice. And they were eating that. I was like, what is this place? And
In jail,
chicken
right?
in jail, yeah, in jail, 3 meals a day, all like white rice, like and meat, like soup. I think they served like some kind of like a tom yum like soup as well. And at first, I was like, I could only eat rice because it was tasting so different. But once I got used to it, I loved it. It was like, this is like the best kind of thing that I've ever ate besides like the Chinese cuisine.
Did you want to leave or you're just
I
like,
I really didn't mind. Like I was like, I could stay here like almost like I don't care. I could stay here all the time. And I was a minor at the time, right? So a lot of like I was treated differently in the prison because I was a minor.
what is a Thai prison like? Like, is it small? Do they force you to do work?
Yeah, they do force you to do the work, but not for us because we are refugees, right? But we still go to the room. Like we don't have to follow any rules there.
Oh.
Like we can just sleep as long as we want. We can
This
just
is
like
amazing,
do
yeah.
whatever you want, right? You don't have to work. You don't have to do anything.
It's just a hotel you can't leave.
Yeah. The hotel, basically hotel, you can just sleep. Yeah. It was pretty fun.
Wow. So we like Thailand. It's a really good.
Yeah,
way to
well, I
treat
like
refugees.
Thailand. Yeah. They treat refugees really well. And then yeah, I got to the cell, right? It's like 3 of because like 2 of me and the other guy but my aunt went to different cell because she was a woman, so woman cell. And then I'm not sure I told you this story, but not to James yet.
Sure.
So when I came up to the Thai prison, I saw there was another Korean dude. So there was another Korean dude who's like, laying there, smoking a cigarette, it's like not carrying anything. And turns out this guy was the same guy that I met in North Korean escapees like detention center. And he actually stole my shoes in the detention center. The reason is because he told me at that point, it's like, oh wait, aren't you like, his name was like, I'll call him Chol too, because like his name starts with Chol. But wait, aren't you like Chol? And then he's like, wait, how do you know me? And I was like, oh yeah, it's me. You took my shoes. And then he was like, it was like going crazy, right? I mean, it's like, what are the chances? So I met this guy in North Korean like a prison, and then now we meet here again.
And you're locked in together to
Yeah, we're locked
get
in
your shoes
together.
back.
I was like, I am determined to get my shoes back. Where is it? Right? And he was telling me a story of like how he escaped. So he needed my shoes to run because my shoe was pretty new, and he was wearing like all like the shoe soles were gone, and it's pretty old shoes. And he was telling me that if it wasn't for my shoes, he probably wouldn't have escaped. So he was able to acquire a paper clip and then stick it underneath the shoe sole, like between the shoe soles. And then at night, while the guards are sleeping in the train, he was able to take the paper clip out, and then he was able to unlock
Wow.
the handcuff, right? And that because like like how the train has like two seats on each side, and then there's an aisle in the middle.
Mhm.
So you are not supposed to sit on the chair or the couch. You're supposed to sit underneath the desk, right? So there is like so the seats are in a aisle. There's couches, and the couches are facing each other, right?
Mhm.
And there is a table, like a small table that you can eat or whatever.
Mhm.
And usually the police officers, they handcuff you through the table legs, right? So that you can you can just run away.
Mhm.
But this guy cleverly undid the handcuff and then slowly got up. And then he was just in minutes, right after doing that, in minutes, he was like full on running. And he was looking for a train window to actually jump out.
Mm.
Or like he was trying to find the door to actually get out. But it was a night and it was pretty chilly. So everything is closed. And he was just desperately trying to look for it. And at this point, like it's been like a couple of minutes, right? Or like 5 minutes since he it's been a couple of minutes he escaped. He undid the handcuff, and now the police officers are looking for him. Right? It's like a whole chaos scene is going on in the train. But this guy's like, what the heck? I gotta get off. And then he eventually found the open window, and then he just left through it, and he
Wow.
escaped, and he came to China.
Wow.
And he and I became the best buddy. Like he has some money, and I
Oh.
didn't. He was buying me stuff like every single day. It's like, oh hey, I'm getting a ramen. Do you want some? I'm like, yes, please.
Oh.
You know,
So
and
you got your worth for the shoe.
yeah, yeah. And he and I became like really, really close.
Oh.
And that sounds crazy. So it sounds like a good escapee to be around as well. He's able to open handcuffs with a paper clip.
Yeah. I don't think he was first time. Like he's like a troublemaker, right?
It wasn't your first time either.
It wasn't my first time either. Yeah, yeah.
Did he?
But
So
I
he
don't
did.
know, yeah.
He jumped out the train window, kind of just like you. Did he
Right.
then also go to that town and try to swim across like you did?
I mean, I think that's how he escaped. Yeah, through Hesan. Yeah.
Wow.
So Hesan is the most like the Yalu River is the most like reliable kind of place to escape because like the river is kind of narrow, whereas like Tumen River is really wide and deep. So it's kind of almost impossible for you to swim across. But for me, like, you know, and for I think almost everyone, they skip through Yalu River.
Wow.
But you know, here's the thing too, really, really interesting bit. Like, I didn't really know what freedom was, right? So for me, Thai prison was just like heaven, right? Like, I get treated really well. You know, I eat meat, I eat eggs. You know, like white rice. I'm treated like a king, you know. But for those who actually really knew what freedom was like you know, from people from UK and people from America.
They're in there.
So here's the thing: to Thailand, a lot of people actually were doing drugs, and they get captured. And because the Thai prison is running out of rooms, what they ended up doing is like all the foreigners like who committed the crime, they would send them to this international refugee camp, so that like, you know, like different countries, you know, would come there and pick them up. So like a Syria, UK. Like Germany, like all, and South Korea too. Like, I've met decent number of South Koreans actually who you know, who got captured and who was doing drugs, you know, and they got captured and it was sending back to South Korea.
It's a very strange group of people.
Yeah, no, it's like
expat drug, probably dealers and users.
yeah,
and then-
dealers and users. Yeah,
Wow.
dealers and users, and you know, it was quite interesting to see because a lot of people would actually go crazy. Like, meaning that like schizophrenia,
I see.
like they would like
claustrophobic or something,
or drug induced.
maybe drug induced.
Oh.
Yeah, so they would just like talk, like they would just sit down there and just like talk.
Oh wow, scary.
Right? And they speak English. But Americans, however, you know, like, you know how like America's like no soldiers left behind, or you know, like nobody's left behind. Americans, they would just go in like the day one. Like, if like, for example, like what I mean is that, let's say that like a person from Germany committed a crime in Thailand, right? And they got punished in Thai prison for like 4 years. And then now this person is ready to go home, right? So now he has to come to this refugee camp and wait there until the Germany comes and picks him up and brings them to Germany and get punished again.
Oh, I see.
Right? So you can't just like, oh, you're free to go now. No, it's like you have to like go through the official channels.
I see.
And sometimes it would take them like weeks. Sometimes it would take them months. And sometimes it would take them years. Right? Because like Germany don't want to deal with like the criminals like that.
I see.
Americans, however, 1 day.
Wow.
The maximum is like week. It's like they would just go as they come in.
At this
Because
point,
it's like American citizens are treated well, like from America. Like, America is being responsible for their citizens. It's like,
Wow.
yeah.
but you had never encountered another American until this point, right?
I have not. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I have not encountered any Americans until like when I got to the Thai. When I got to
Well,
the
can
Thai.
you talk about that? Like, what
Yeah.
was it? Because your
First
main
impression,
enemy, right?
Yeah. First impression, like
Foxes? I forgot what you called them. Wolves?
wolves. Yeah, they will look like wolves. But you know, like, I don't know, like, I was expecting, you know, like something different, right? I was like very exaggerated version of like human being, but they just normal people, you know, and also like in the Thai prison, like the people always talk about like Americans, you know, like some people talked about it in a good way, I think, and some people just didn't like Americans, but yeah, my memory of is that, okay, well, they're not so different, you know. I mean, of course, yeah, like we have a different skins, but they smile, you know, and they talk. They're friendly, at least, you know.
So it completely you weren't you weren't scared, angry. You were just like, oh, that was completely wrong.
Yeah, it's like, and also I watched the movies too, right?
Oh,
and
right.
it was like I was exposed to like a lot of like medias. Even I watched James Franco movie in the Thai prison. So
The North Korean one.
no James not no that came out like way
Okay,
later.
okay.
I skipped. No, it's called the guy who got stuck in the
Yeah,
Oh.
27 hours. or
yeah 20
something
yeah
like
something
that.
like yeah.
I think it's 127.
Yeah, it might be much more than
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and he ended up. So James Franco actually did that movie, and
Yeah.
I watched that movie in Thai prison,
Wow.
and I was like, wow, I don't know who that guy is, but the movie seems pretty interesting. Yeah, but it was quite interesting, right? And a lot of people weren't happy. It's like, oh, this is a human rights violation, because here's the thing too. It was a small prison, and it was overcrowded. We didn't have enough space in the prison, and the food that we were getting was like pretty terrible. Like it wasn't like the food that I was getting in the prison.
Oh.
It was worse. It was pretty bad, and the quality was pretty much bad. The quantity was much induced. It was just so little, and I was hungry all the time. So basically, room is pretty small, and we had like 4 rows of people, and then we had to sleep in it's like one's head is here and your leg is here, so it's like
It's like a crisscross.
crisscross like way, because there was not enough space,
Oh.
and you could only get like a small width in a place. And the worst part is the restroom was pretty small, and there was only like 10, whereas we have like 300 people,
Whoa.
right? And all of those people using the restroom, it get clogged all the time,
Oh no.
right? So everything would come back up. So whenever you actually go to a restroom, like it would happen like regularly, and you would basically walk around in those like yellow water in the bathroom, right? Because that's where you take showers. And imagine, it's really hot. It's freaking hot. There is no AC, and there is nothing else keeping us hot. And there are lots of people just talking, moving around, just crazy people going around, and just like stuffy, smelly. People smokes all the time, So it's like basically it's a bad, like it's really bad. So I could imagine, like people who had freedom, and just like were treated really well, now stuck in this place, and of course they would go crazy.
Right.
But for me, it's like I don't care.
You felt like a king.
Yeah, I mean, not at that place, but like when I was in the Thai prison, right?
Got it.
Like they would treat us really, really well. Like, yeah, but not in this Thai prison.
But even up to this point, although certain parts were really difficult,
yeah, but overall,
nowhere in that journey you were like, dang, I shouldn't have left.
No, never. Yeah. I'm like happy. Like nothing can actually come close to eating a live rat, and live mice, and nothing could come closer to, closer to death experience. And then so I skipped a couple of steps. I skipped a couple of sections, but I will leave that section for the next episode because we are at time.
Yeah, I'm so happy that we're at a happy part of the story now. Or for the most part, right?
Right.
I feel
right.
hopeful.
Yeah.
I think he'll make it out.
Alrighty, thank you so much for listening to my story, listeners. I'll catch you in the next one.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Right.
Hey listeners, thank you for tuning in today. If this is the kind of content that you like to listen to and you want more, please make sure to add our podcast to your library so that you get all the updates. We are available on all podcast platforms, so you can easily share our podcast name so your friends and family can find us on wherever they listen to their podcast. If you'd like to participate in the conversation, please email us at info.rubberducking@gmail.com. We would love to have your thoughts, questions featured on our show. We look forward to hearing from you, and we will catch you on our next episode. Thanks.